The vinyl booth at Rosie's Diner had a tear in the red upholstery that Daniel Carter had memorized. Third booth from the door, right side, a 3-inch rip that showed yellow foam underneath. He sat there every Saturday morning with his son, and every Saturday morning he ordered the same thing. 2 short stacks, scrambled eggs, orange juice for Leo, black coffee for himself. "Dad, can I get chocolate chip pancakes today?" Leo asked, his 7-year-old face hopeful beneath a mop of brown hair that never laid flat no matter how much Daniel tried to comb it. "It's $2 extra," Daniel said, watching his son's expression carefully. Leo's face fell, then brightened with forced cheerfulness. "That's okay. Regular is good too." Daniel felt the familiar twist in his chest, the same one he got every time he made his son settle for less, even when his bank account could cover chocolate chips 1,000 times over. But this was the life he'd chosen to show Leo, the life he wanted his son to understand before the truth came out. "Actually," Daniel said, making a show of checking his wallet, "I think we can swing it this week, but just this once, okay?" Leo's grin could have powered the whole diner. "Thanks, Dad." The waitress appeared beside their table, her notepad ready. She was new. Daniel hadn't seen her before. Late 20s maybe, with auburn hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, and eyes that looked tired in a way that spoke of double shifts and unpaid bills. "Good morning," she said, and her smile seemed genuine despite the exhaustion. "What can I get you folks?" "Chocolate chip pancakes for him," Daniel said, nodding at Leo. "Short stack, scrambled eggs and coffee for me." "Coming right up." She started to turn, then paused. "Your son's drawing is really good." Daniel looked down. Leo had already claimed the paper placemat and crayons, sketching what looked like a spaceship. "He loves to draw. I can tell, my nephew's the same age, never without a crayon in his hand." She smiled at Leo. "What's your name, artist?" "Leo," he said shyly. "I'm Maya. Nice to meet you, Leo." She glanced at Daniel. "And you are?" "Daniel." "Well, Daniel and Leo, I'll get your order in right away." She walked toward the kitchen, and Daniel noticed the slight limp in her left leg, the way she favored her right side. "She's nice," Leo said, already back to his drawing. "Yeah," Daniel agreed, watching Maya laugh at something the cook said through the order window. "She is." The thing about pretending to be broke was that it required constant vigilance. Daniel had learned this over the past 2 years, ever since his ex-wife remarried. A venture capitalist with a mansion in Greenwich and opinions about how Daniel's little software company would never amount to anything. She didn't know that Daniel's little software company had been acquired 6 months ago for $240 million. She didn't know that he'd kept his position as a consultant, that he still worked from his modest townhouse in Stamford, that he drove a 10-year-old Honda and shopped at Target because those were the things that kept him grounded. More importantly, she didn't know that Daniel had structured his life this way deliberately, to show Leo that happiness didn't come from money, that character mattered more than wealth, that a person's worth wasn't measured in their bank balance. Every woman he'd dated since the divorce had proven his point. They'd meet for coffee, exchange numbers, go to dinner. And every time Daniel would play the same role. Hard-working single dad, making ends meet, nothing fancy. He'd suggest splitting the check, talk about budgeting, mention shopping at thrift stores. The women always disappeared after the second or third date. Too poor, too boring, too ordinary. It validated everything Daniel believed about people and money. It confirmed his decision to hide his wealth until he found someone who valued him for who he was, not what he had. But it was getting lonely, and Leo was starting to ask questions about why Dad never had a girlfriend, why they never went on vacations, why their house was smaller than Mom's new place. "Dad?" Leo's voice pulled him back to the present. "You're staring at nothing again." "Sorry, buddy. Just thinking." "About work?" "Something like that." Maya returned with their food, setting down plates with practiced efficiency. "Chocolate chips as requested," she said to Leo. "And I added a little extra whipped cream. Don't tell my boss." Leo's eyes went wide. "Thank you. You're very welcome." She refilled Daniel's coffee without being asked. "Let me know if you need anything else." As she walked away, Daniel noticed the way she stopped at every table, remembered names, asked about people's families. She wasn't just doing a job, she was connecting, caring, making people feel seen. "Dad, these are the best pancakes ever," Leo said through a mouthful of chocolate and whipped cream. "Don't talk with your mouth full," Daniel reminded him gently, but he was smiling. They ate in comfortable silence, the kind that came from years of Saturday mornings together, just the two of them. Daniel had custody every weekend, and he'd built their routine carefully. Diner breakfast, playground time, library visit, then home for movies and pizza. Simple, affordable, real. When they finished, Daniel left a $20 bill on the table, a generous tip that he could afford but had to calculate carefully to maintain his image. Not too much to seem flashy, enough to be kind. As they stood to leave, Maya caught his eye from across the diner and mouthed, "Thank you." Daniel nodded and guided Leo toward the door. "Can we come back next week?" Leo asked. "We come back every week." "I mean, can we ask for Maya again? She's nicer than the other waitresses." "We'll see who's working," Daniel said, but he was already hoping it would be her. Monday morning brought the usual chaos. Client calls, code reviews, emails that multiplied faster than he could answer them. Daniel worked from his home office, a converted bedroom with a standing desk and 2 monitors, while Leo was at school. His phone rang at 10. The name on the screen made him hesitate. Jennifer, his ex-wife. "Hello?" "Daniel, we need to talk about Leo's birthday." Her voice carried the clipped efficiency of someone used to getting her way. "Richard and I want to throw him a party at the club. Tennis, pool, catering, all his friends from school." Daniel closed his eyes. "He doesn't play tennis, Jennifer. He could learn. Richard's club has excellent instructors. Leo wants to go to the science museum and have pizza with his friends. I already asked him. That's so pedestrian, Daniel. Our son deserves better. Our son deserves to feel loved, not impressed." Jennifer sighed. "This is exactly why we're not together anymore. You have no ambition, no vision for what life could be. I have plenty of vision. It just doesn't look like yours. Fine, have your little pizza party, but don't complain when he's older and realizes what he missed out on." She hung up before he could respond. Daniel sat there for a moment, phone in hand, feeling the familiar mix of frustration and relief. He'd made the right choice in divorcing her. He knew that, but it still stung. His phone buzzed with a text from his business manager. "Board meeting next week. They want to discuss expansion plans. Also, Forbes wants an interview about the acquisition." Daniel typed back, "Decline the interview. I'll attend the meeting remotely." He'd avoided publicity for 2 years, keeping his name out of tech magazines and startup blogs. It wouldn't last forever. Eventually, someone would connect the dots, publish the story, expose his net worth. But until then, he wanted to live as normally as possible. The doorbell rang. Daniel frowned. He wasn't expecting anyone. Through the peephole, he saw his neighbor, Patricia, holding a casserole dish. "Daniel, honey," she said when he opened the door, "I made too much lasagna. Would you and Leo like some? I know money's tight for you." He took the dish, thanked her, assured her it wasn't necessary but was deeply appreciated. Patricia had been bringing him extra food for months, operating under the assumption that single dads struggled to make ends meet. She wasn't wrong, in general. She was just wrong about him specifically. After she left, Daniel stared at the lasagna. This was the cost of his deception. Good people pitying him, trying to help when he didn't need it. But it was also proof that kindness existed outside of wealth. That people would care about you when they thought you had nothing to offer but yourself. He put the lasagna in the fridge and went back to work. Saturday arrived with rain and unseasonably cold temperatures. Daniel almost suggested skipping the diner, but Leo had talked about it all week, asking if Maya would be there if she'd remember him. They arrived at 9, shaking water from their coats. The diner was crowded, weekends always were, but their booth was empty, waiting like it knew they'd come. Maya appeared within minutes, her smile brightening when she saw them. "My favorite artists. How are you guys?" "Wet," Leo said, giggling. "I can see that. How about some hot chocolate to warm you up? My treat." "Oh, you don't have to," Daniel started, but she waved him off. "It's just cocoa, Daniel. Let me do something nice." She brought Leo the hot chocolate with extra marshmallows, then took their order, the usual for Daniel, pancakes for Leo, this time with strawberries instead of chocolate chips. "You have a good week?" Maya asked while writing. "School was boring," Leo reported, "but I got an A on my space report." "That's wonderful. What did you write about?" "The Mars rovers. Dad helped me build a model." Maya looked at Daniel with new interest. "You build things?" "Just hobby stuff. Nothing impressive." "I think it's very impressive." She held his gaze for a moment longer than necessary, then headed to the kitchen. Leo immediately leaned forward. "Dad, she likes you. She's just being friendly, buddy." "No, she likes you. Likes you." "When did you become an expert on this?" "Mom's always talking about who likes who. I pay attention." Daniel couldn't argue with that. Jennifer did treat relationships like strategic alliances, always calculating social advantage. It was exhausting. They ate breakfast, and this time when Maya brought the check, she lingered. "So, Daniel, I have a weird question." "Okay. There's a fall festival next Saturday at the park. Music, food trucks, craft booths. I'm working the morning shift, but I'm off at 2. Would you and Leo want to go? I mean, if you're not busy." Daniel's pulse quickened. Was she asking him out or just being friendly? "Just the 3 of us?" "Well, I was going to bring my nephew. My sister usually works Saturdays, so I watch him. He's Leo's age. I thought they might get along." "Can we, Dad?" Leo's eyes pleaded. "Please." Daniel calculated quickly. A festival meant spending money, food, games, maybe some craft purchases. He'd have to be careful not to overspend to maintain the image, but it also meant time with Maya. And he found he wanted that more than he'd expected. "Sure," he said. "That sounds fun." Maya's whole face lit up. "Great. Should we meet there around 2:30? By the main entrance?" "Perfect." After she walked away, Leo bounced in his seat. "This is like a date, right? A family date?" "It's just 2 single parents hanging out with their kids," Daniel said, but he was smiling. "Whatever you say, Dad." The week crawled by. Daniel found himself thinking about Maya at odd moments, the way she moved through the diner with purpose, the way she remembered details about customers, the way she'd looked at him when she asked about the festival. He knew almost nothing about her, didn't know her last name, her story, why she limped, what she did when she wasn't working. But he wanted to know, and that feeling was new, unfamiliar, slightly terrifying. Friday night, Leo helped him pick out clothes for the festival. "Not the jeans with the hole, Dad, and wear the blue shirt, not the gray one." "Since when are you a fashion consultant?" "Since you started liking Maya." Daniel grabbed his son and tickled him until Leo squealed with laughter. "I don't like Maya. I barely know Maya." "You will like her. She's nice and she doesn't care that we're poor." The word hit Daniel harder than it should have. "We're not poor, Leo. We have everything we need." "I know, but we're not rich like Mom and Richard." "No," Daniel agreed quietly. "We're not like them." "Good," Leo said fiercely. "I don't want to be like them. They're always busy and they don't really listen." "You listen, Dad. You're always there." Daniel pulled his son into a hug, fighting unexpected emotion. This was why he did it. This was why the deception mattered. Leo understood that presence mattered more than presence, that time was worth more than money. "I love you, buddy," Daniel said into Leo's hair. "Love you too, Dad." The festival was exactly as advertised. Vendors selling handmade jewelry and pottery, food trucks offering everything from tacos to crepes, a small stage where local bands played covers of classic rock songs. The weather had cleared, leaving the day crisp and bright. Maya waited by the entrance, her nephew beside her. The boy was small for his age, with wide eyes and a cautious expression. "Daniel, Leo, this is my nephew, Tyler," Maya said. "Tyler, these are my friends from the diner." The boys eyed each other with the wariness of potential allies. "You like Legos?" Leo asked. "Yeah," Tyler said. "Want to see what they have at that booth over there?" They ran off together toward a vendor selling building toys, and Maya laughed. That was easy. "Boys are simple creatures," Daniel said. "Show them something they can build or take apart, and you've got instant friendship." They wandered through the festival, keeping the kids in sight but giving them space to explore. Maya told him about her sister, single mom, working 2 jobs, struggling to make ends meet. That's why Maya watched Tyler most weekends to give her sister a break. "What about you?" Daniel asked. "What do you do when you're not working or watching Tyler?" "Not much," Maya admitted. "Sleep mostly. I work at the diner 6 days a week, pick up occasional shifts at a bookstore downtown. I'm trying to save money for physical therapy." "Physical therapy?" She gestured to her leg. "Car accident 3 years ago, broke my hip, messed up the muscles. Insurance covered the surgeries, but not the follow-up care. So I limp and some days it hurts pretty bad, but I manage." "That's rough," Daniel said and meant it. "Could be worse. I could have lost the leg entirely. This way I just have a good excuse for not running marathons." She smiled, but he could see the pain behind it. Not just physical, but financial. The stress of medical bills, of working through injury, of doing what you had to do because you had no other choice. They stopped at a jewelry booth, where Tyler and Leo were examining stone pendants shaped like animals. "Can I get one, Aunt Maya?" Tyler asked. "They're only $5. Maya checked her wallet and Daniel saw her face fall. "Sweetie, I only brought $20 for both of us. That's for food and maybe 1 treat each. If you get the necklace, we can't have lunch." Tyler's disappointment was visible, but he nodded. "That's okay. I'm not that hungry anyway." The lie was so transparent it hurt. Daniel looked at the vendor's display. The pendants were handcrafted, genuinely beautiful, worth far more than $5. He thought about the $2,000 sitting in his wallet, the credit cards that could buy this entire booth without making a dent in his account. But that would break his cover. That would raise questions he wasn't ready to answer. "Hey," Daniel said quietly to Maya. "Let me get it for him. Leo's been wanting one too. I'll grab both." "Daniel, you don't have to do that. It's just $10. He pulled out a bill, handed it to the vendor. "One for each kid. Let them pick." Maya's eyes shimmered. "Thank you, that's really kind." "It's nothing. It's not nothing." She touched his arm briefly. "Kindness is never nothing." The boys chose their pendants, a wolf for Leo, an eagle for Tyler, and wore them with the pride of treasured possessions. They walked on, stopping at a food truck for lunch. Daniel watched Maya count out bills for 2 grilled cheese sandwiches and 2 lemonades. She'd budgeted exactly, leaving nothing for herself. "Aren't you eating?" he asked. "I had a big breakfast. I'm good." Another lie. Daniel ordered for himself and Leo, then casually added, "And 1 more grilled cheese, please." When the food came, he handed the extra sandwich to Maya. "Leo never finishes his. I always end up with leftovers. You'd be doing me a favor." She looked at him, understanding exactly what he was doing. "Daniel." "Please," he said, "let me buy you lunch." She took the sandwich, and they sat on a bench near the stage watching the boys play in the grass while a band covered Tom Petty songs. "You're different," Maya said after a while. "Different how? Most guys I meet, they're either trying to impress me with what they have or they're intimidated because I work 2 jobs and don't have time for games. You're just present, like you're actually here, paying attention." "That's because I am here," Daniel said. "This matters to me, spending time with you, watching the kids have fun. This is the good stuff." Maya smiled. "The good stuff. I like that." They sat in comfortable silence and Daniel felt something shift. This wasn't about money or status or proving a point anymore. This was about connection, about finding someone who saw the world the way he did, who valued presence over possessions. "Can I ask you something?" Maya said. "Sure. Why doesn't Leo's mom ever come to the diner with you guys?" Daniel took a breath. She remarried. Someone with more money, more status, someone who could give her the lifestyle she wanted. We have different ideas about what matters, and what matters to you. Leo, making sure he grows up knowing that his worth isn't tied to what he owns, that kindness costs nothing but means everything, that people matter more than things. He paused. That probably sounds naive. It sounds beautiful, Maya said softly. It sounds like exactly the kind of father every kid deserves. Their eyes met, and Daniel felt the pull of something real, something he hadn't felt since before his marriage fell apart. The urge to tell her the truth about the money, the company, the deception, rose in his throat, but he swallowed it back. Not yet. Not when things were just beginning. October turned to November, and Saturday mornings at Rosie's Diner became the highlight of Daniel's week. Maya always worked the early shift, always saved their booth, always had an extra smile for Leo and increasingly meaningful glances for Daniel. They went to the park together, to free museum days, to the library for story time, always with the kids, always keeping things casual, but the attraction simmered beneath every conversation. Daniel found himself looking forward to Tuesday evenings, when Maya worked the dinner shift and he'd bring Leo in for burgers and milkshakes. Found himself timing their arrival to her break schedule so they could talk while the boys colored. She told him about growing up in Hartford, about her parents who died when she was 22, about raising her sister who was 10 years younger. Told him about the accident that had derailed her plans for nursing school, about the medical debt she was still paying off in installments. And Daniel told her his version of the truth, about the divorce, about building his small consulting business, about trying to give Leo a normal childhood despite his ex-wife's influence. It wasn't lying exactly. It was just selective honesty. But the guilt gnawed at him, especially when Maya would insist on splitting the cost of their outings, counting out her carefully budgeted dollars while he knew he could cover everything 100 times over. When she'd apologize for not being able to afford movie tickets or mini golf, and he'd have to pretend he couldn't afford them either, when the truth was he could rent out the entire theater if he wanted. "You're distracted," his business manager said during a conference call in mid-November. "The board is getting nervous. They want you more involved, more visible. There's talk of bringing in a new CEO if you won't step up." "I'm consulting as agreed," Daniel said. That was the deal. The deal was based on you maintaining involvement. You've been declining meetings, avoiding media opportunities, basically hiding. What's going on? Daniel looked at the photo on his desk. Him and Leo at the park, both laughing, both covered in autumn leaves. "I'm living my life. Remember that concept? You're a multi-millionaire who dresses like he shops at Goodwill and eats at diners. That's not living. That's playing pretend. Maybe I like pretend. Or maybe you're scared that anyone who knows your net worth will only see dollar signs. But Daniel, you can't hide forever. Eventually the truth comes out, and when it does, anyone who matters will understand. Anyone who doesn't understand wasn't worth your time anyway." The call ended, but the words lingered. Daniel knew his manager was right. The deception had an expiration date. The question was whether Maya would still want him when she learned the truth. Leo's 8th birthday arrived on a Wednesday. Daniel had planned the party for the following Saturday. The science museum, pizza, cake, 6 kids from school. Simple, affordable, perfect. But on Wednesday evening, Jennifer showed up at his door unannounced. "I'm taking Leo to dinner," she announced. "Richard made reservations at Le Bernardin. We're celebrating properly." "Jennifer, he's got school tomorrow, and I already told you. We're doing a party on Saturday." "This is his actual birthday, Daniel. He deserves something special." "He'll have something special on Saturday." She looked past him into the house, her expression disdainful. "This is what you're giving him? This tiny townhouse and budget celebrations? He could have so much more. He has everything he needs. He needs a father with ambition, a father who wants better for him. I want him to be happy and kind and grounded. That's better." Jennifer's laugh was sharp. "You keep telling yourself that. Meanwhile, he'll grow up resenting you for keeping him poor when you could have given him the world. I'm giving him exactly what he needs, Daniel said quietly. And someday you'll understand the difference between what someone needs and what someone wants. She left, and Leo appeared from the living room where he'd been listening. I don't want to go to a fancy restaurant with Mom and Richard. You don't have to, buddy. It's your birthday. You get to decide. I want Saturday, the museum and pizza and my friends. Daniel hugged his son. Then that's exactly what we'll do. Saturday morning, they went to the diner before the party. Maya had the day off, but she'd asked them to stop by anyway. When they arrived, the staff had decorated their booth with balloons and a handmade banner that read, "Happy Birthday, Leo." Maya emerged from the kitchen carrying a cake, small, homemade, decorated with stars and planets and colorful icing. "I know you're having a party later," she said, "but I wanted to make you something special." Tyler helped with the stars. Leo's face went through several emotions before settling on pure joy. "This is the coolest cake ever." They sang happy birthday, and Daniel watched Maya's face as she smiled at his son, and something in his chest cracked open. This woman, who had so little, had spent her day off and her limited money making a cake for a kid she barely knew because she wanted him to feel special. "Thank you," Daniel said, his voice rough. "You didn't have to do this." "I wanted to." Maya met his eyes. "You guys matter to me." The words hung between them, weighted with meaning. Tyler and Leo were already digging into cake, oblivious, and Daniel knew this was the moment. The moment to be honest, to come clean, to trust that what they had was real enough to survive the truth. "Maya, I need to tell you something." His phone rang. He almost ignored it, but the name on the screen stopped him. Leo's school. "Mr. Carter, this is Principal Henderson. I'm calling about the birthday party today. We had a parent contact us with some concerns about the venue and wanted to confirm your plans." Daniel's blood went cold. Concerns? What kind of concerns? "Well, apparently Leo's mother believes the Science Museum isn't appropriate for the party, and she's requested we contact the parents to inform them of a change in venue to her country club. She's offering to host there instead, with upgraded activities and catering. She has no authority to do that," Daniel said, his voice tight. "I have custody this weekend. The party is at the museum as planned." "Of course, Mr. Carter. I just needed to verify. We'll be sending a follow-up email to clarify. I apologize for the confusion." Daniel hung up, shaking with anger. "I have to make a call, I'm sorry." He stepped outside, dialed Jennifer's number. "What the hell were you thinking?" he said when she answered. "Trying to hijack Leo's party?" "I'm trying to give our son a proper celebration, something he can be proud of, not some low-rent museum field trip. He chose the museum. It's his birthday, his choice. He only chose it because he doesn't know any better. Because you've convinced him that mediocre is acceptable. Well, I'm done watching you limit his potential, Daniel. It's time he understood what real success looks like." Something snapped. "You want to know what real success looks like, Jennifer? It looks like a kid who's happy, who feels loved, who doesn't measure his worth by his zip code or his parents' bank balance. That's success. You're delusional." "No, I'm done. I'm done pretending that your version of success means anything. I'm done letting you make Leo feel like what we have isn't enough." He took a breath. "And I'm done hiding who I am to prove a point." He hung up and walked back into the diner. Maya looked up, concerned. "Everything okay?" "No," Daniel said. "But it will be. I need to tell you something. Both of you, actually." He sat down, and Leo and Tyler paused mid-bite, sensing something important. "I haven't been completely honest," Daniel started, "about my job, my situation, my finances." Maya's expression shifted, became guarded. "What do you mean?" "I told you I run a small consulting business, that's true. What I didn't tell you is that I sold my software company 2 years ago for a lot of money. A lot. I've been living like I'm broke because I wanted Leo to understand that money doesn't define us. That character matters more than wealth." The silence stretched. Leo looked confused. Maya looked hurt. "You lied to me," she said quietly. "I omitted information. I never actually lied." "That's a technicality, Daniel. You let me think you were struggling. Let me feel sorry for you. Let me scrape together money for outings when you could have afforded everything without blinking." Her voice shook. "Do you know how humiliating this is?" "Maya, that's not how I meant it." "How did you mean it?" "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you were playing some kind of game. Testing me, seeing if I'd stick around when I thought you were poor." She stood up. "I have to go. Please let me explain." "Not right now." She looked at Tyler. "Come on, sweetie, we need to leave." Tyler protested, but Maya was firm. Daniel watched them go, his heart sinking. He'd just destroyed the best thing that had happened to him in years. Leo tugged his sleeve. "Dad, what just happened?" "I messed up, buddy. I messed up bad." The birthday party went on as planned, but Daniel's heart wasn't in it. He smiled and supervised and served pizza, but his mind kept replaying Maya's hurt expression, the betrayal in her eyes. That evening, after Leo went to bed, Daniel sat in his home office and stared at his bank statements. All this money. And what good was it? Couldn't buy back Maya's trust. Couldn't erase the hurt he'd caused. His phone buzzed. A text from his business manager. Saw the email from Jennifer's lawyer. "She's filing for full custody, citing your unstable lifestyle choices and deceptive behavior. You need to call me." Daniel closed his eyes. Of course Jennifer had found out. Probably had a private investigator, or talked to the wrong person at the school, and now she was using it against him, twisting his choices into evidence of unfitness. He called his manager, got the full story. Jennifer had compiled evidence, photos of Daniel's modest house, records of their diner breakfasts, Leo's simple birthday party plans. She was arguing that Daniel was either mentally unstable for living below his means, or intentionally depriving Leo of advantages to spite her. "It won't hold up in court," his lawyer assured him. "You're providing everything Leo needs, but it'll be messy, and it'll go public. Your net worth, the acquisition, all of it." "Let it go public," Daniel said tiredly. "I'm done hiding." Sunday, he took Leo to the park. They sat on their favorite bench watching ducks on the pond. "Am I really rich?" Leo asked. "I'm really wealthy," Daniel corrected. "You're 8, you get an allowance and birthday money." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I wanted you to understand that money doesn't make you better than anyone else. That kindness and character matter more than what you own. I wanted you to grow up normal, grounded, not thinking you were special just because of a bank balance." Leo thought about this. Tyler's mom is poor, really poor. Tyler told me sometimes they eat cereal for dinner because that's all they have. "I know, buddy. Could we help them, now that I know we can?" Daniel looked at his son, this beautiful kid who'd learned exactly the lesson Daniel had been trying to teach. "Yeah," he said. "We can help them, but we do it quietly, okay, without making them feel bad. Because that's what kind people do." Exactly. Monday morning, Daniel drove to Rosie's diner. It was early, before Maya's shift started, but he knew she'd be there prepping. He walked in through the back entrance, found her in the kitchen rolling silverware into napkins. "We're not open yet," she said without looking up. "I know, I came to apologize. I don't want to hear it. Maya, please, 5 minutes." She finally looked at him, and the hurt in her eyes nearly broke him. "What could you possibly say that would make this okay?" "Nothing. Nothing makes it okay. I deceived you, and that was wrong. But I want you to understand why." He sat on a prep stool. "My ex-wife married me when I was building the company. She loved the idea of wealth, of status, of being married to success. And when the company sold and I decided to live modestly, to focus on Leo instead of empire building, she left, said I was wasting my potential. So you decided to hide your money and see who'd want you without it." "Yes, I know how that sounds. I know it's manipulative. But every woman I dated disappeared when they thought I was broke. Every single one. And I started to believe that money was all anyone saw. That's not fair, Daniel. You didn't give anyone a chance to prove otherwise. You made the decision for them. You're right, and I'm sorry, but Maya, what we have, it's real. The conversations, the time together, the connection, that's not fake. How do I know? How do I know any of it was real when you were lying the whole time? I wasn't lying about the things that matter. I wasn't lying when I said Leo is my priority, when I said kindness costs nothing, when I said I valued presence over presence. All of that is true. Maya's hand stilled on the silverware. You let me struggle. You watched me count pennies and budget groceries and stress about money when you could have helped. Would you have accepted help if you'd known I was wealthy? That's not the point, isn't it? You're proud, Maya, independent. If I'd offered you money, you would have refused. You would have pulled away, assumed I pitied you. At least this way, we had a chance to know each other without money complicating everything. Money was always complicating things. You made sure of that by lying about it. She was right. Daniel knew she was right. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if you can. Maya picked up another napkin, began rolling. I need time to think, to process, to figure out if I can trust you again. I'll give you all the time you need. Thank you. She paused. Daniel, for what it's worth, I did care about you, the you I thought I knew. I just don't know if that person was real. He was real, Daniel said. He is real. The only thing I hid was the money. Everything else, that's all me. He left before she could respond, hoping he hadn't just lost the best thing to happen to him in years. The next 2 weeks were the longest of Daniel's life. He and Leo still went to the diner on Saturdays, but Maya had switched to evening shifts, avoiding them. Other waitresses took their order, and the booth felt empty without her. Leo kept asking when they'd see Maya and Tyler again. Daniel had no answer. Jennifer's custody petition moved forward, and Daniel's lawyers prepared their defense. The story hit local news, software millionaire living as pauper, and suddenly everyone had opinions. Some called him eccentric, others admired his values, most just thought he was weird. Daniel ignored all of it. He focused on Leo, on work, on trying to figure out how to make things right with Maya. Then, on a Thursday evening, his doorbell rang. Maya stood on his porch looking uncertain. Hi, she said. Hi. Daniel's heart pounded. Do you want to come in? She nodded, stepped inside. They sat in the living room, an awkward distance between them. I've been thinking, Maya started, about what you said, about why you hid your money. And I get it. I understand being hurt, being cautious, wanting to protect yourself and Leo. But you made decisions for me. You decided I couldn't handle the truth, that I'd either run away or treat you differently. You didn't give me a choice. I know. And that hurts, Daniel, because I thought we were building something honest. And it turns out part of it was a lie. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Maya looked at her hands. I also need to be honest about why this hit me so hard. She took a breath. When I was engaged, my fiancé was wealthy. I didn't know until after he proposed. He'd been pretending to be a grad student, but he came from serious money, old money. And when I found out, everything changed. Changed how? His family didn't think I was good enough. Working class, no college degree, no pedigree. They offered me money to leave, and when I refused, he broke it off. Said he loved me, but not enough to fight his family, not enough to choose me over his inheritance. Her voice cracked. So when you told me you'd been hiding your money, all I could think was that it was happening again, that I wasn't good enough for your real life. Daniel moved to sit beside her. Maya, that's not even close to the same thing. Isn't it? You kept part of yourself hidden, part of your life. How am I supposed to believe I'd fit into the real version? Because the version you met is the real version. The money is just numbers in an account. It doesn't define who I am. You do. Leo does. The choices we make, the people we care about. That's what defines us. Maya turned to face him. If we do this, if we try again, no more secrets, no more hiding. Complete honesty. Complete honesty, Daniel agreed. And I need you to understand something. I can't be with someone who sees my financial situation as something to fix. I'm not a project. I'm not someone who needs saving. I know that. You're the strongest person I've ever met. But I also need you to understand that we come from different worlds. And sometimes that's going to be hard. There will be moments where the gap feels too wide, where my reality and yours don't align, and we'll have to work through that. I'm willing to work through anything, Daniel said. If you are. Maya studied his face for a long moment. Then she leaned forward and kissed him, soft and tentative and full of possibility. When they pulled apart, she was crying. What's wrong? Daniel asked. Nothing, everything. I'm just scared. Scared this won't work. Scared you'll realize I'm not worth the complication. You're worth every complication, Daniel said. You and Tyler both. And I'm going to spend however long it takes proving that to you. They took it slow. Coffee dates while the kids were in school. Phone calls in the evenings. Honest conversations about money and expectations and what a future together might look like. Daniel set up a college fund for Tyler, structured so Maya's sister would never know the source. He hired a lawyer to handle Maya's medical debt anonymously, paying it off through a patient assistance program. He did it quietly, carefully, respecting Maya's pride while still helping where he could. Maya let him, and that felt like trust. In December, Jennifer's custody petition was denied. The judge ruled that Daniel's lifestyle choices, however unconventional, demonstrated strong values and appropriate parenting. Leo testified, at 8 years old, mature beyond his years, that he'd rather have a dad who was present than one who was rich. Jennifer appealed, but her heart wasn't in it. Daniel suspected Richard was getting tired of the drama. Christmas approached, and Daniel asked Maya what she wanted. Time, she said, just time with you and the boys, nothing fancy. So on Christmas Eve, they gathered at Daniel's house, him and Leo, Maya and Tyler. They made cookies and watched movies and built a fire in the fireplace. Simple, perfect, real. This is nice, Maya said, leaning against him on the couch while the boys played with Legos on the floor. It is, Daniel agreed. I'm glad you told me the truth, even though it was hard. Me too. And Daniel, for what it's worth, I would have liked you either way. Rich or poor or anywhere in between. Because you're kind. Because you show up. Because you treat people like they matter. You matter, Daniel said. You matter so much. She kissed him, and the boys made gagging noises, and everyone laughed. Later, after Maya and Tyler went home, Leo crawled into bed beside Daniel. Dad? Yeah, buddy. Are you and Maya going to get married? I don't know. Maybe someday. I hope so. She makes you happy, and Tyler's like the brother I never had. What about you? Are you happy? Leo thought about it. Yeah, I'm really happy. We have enough money to help people, but we're still normal. That's pretty cool. It is pretty cool, Daniel agreed. And Dad? Thanks for teaching me that being rich doesn't make you better. I think a lot of rich kids don't know that. No, Daniel said, pulling his son close. A lot of them don't. They fell asleep like that, father and son, in a modest house that finally felt like home. Not because of what it contained, but because of what it represented. A life built on values instead of valuables, on character instead of cash, on presence instead of presence. Outside, snow began to fall, covering the street in white. And inside, Daniel Carter, software millionaire, single dad, ordinary man, dreamed of a future where love mattered more than money, where kindness outweighed wealth, and where the best things in life couldn't be bought but could be built, one honest moment at a time.